amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed. Whenever you look my video, whenever you watch my video, share the video to all platforms. Share it to family and friends. Share it in your WhatsApp group so that people can get information on what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria, mainly against the Biafrans, against the Duduas, against the indigenous people in the contraption called Nigeria. I try as much as possible to set the record straight. I don't preach hate speech. I don't speak against people. I set the record straight. The only important thing I do here is to make sure that the plight of the people remains on the front burner and the world will know the true story of what is going on in the contraption called Nigeria.
For today, I will be raising concerns over importation of adulterated fuel in Nigeria and how to avert future recurrence. To take this up with us are Mark Adebayo, who is a civil rights activist, seated right here with us in the studio. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mark. All right. Also with us via Zoom platform is Prince Sonny Mkwe, the zonal chairman of systems, a stakeholder in the oil and gas sector. Prince, thank you for joining us. Prince, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, you look a little solemn. I don't know if it's from the Phil scarcity, but let's get into the heat of the conversation and start with Mark here. Mark, good morning and welcome again.
Good morning.
I mean, you heard the conversation even from the newspaper reviewers on the issue of adulterated fuel and the trade of, blame between the federal government and those who were responsible for the supply. But where do you stand on this? Again, because again, it's about what is happening in the conversation with the masses, because as far as the citizens are concerned, it is the duty of the federal government to make sure that the right fuel is in the right place and for the right quantity.
Thank you so much. Well, it does look to me that the people who are responsible for making sure that the fuel, the PMS or whatever petroleum products that are brought into the country are good enough for our consumption, those who are responsible for that are not too much responsible. That they are not alive to their responsibilities. In senior climes, by now, one would have expected that heirs will have started rolling. Now, the NNPC especially started getting it wrong from the angle of the people that are licensed to bring in petroleum products into this country. When the GMD of NNPC started reeling out the names of the companies and firms that were responsible for bringing in this adulterated fuel, you would discover that as far back as 2008, when the issue of adulterated fuel happened and the House of Reps had to go into investigation to investigate all these things, a particular company, I think Wando, was indicted, and that one also indicted another company, a Swiss company. Now, all the companies that were mentioned in the 2008 investigation that were banned by the Nigerian government are also involved in the position of this. When were they unbanned? The question is, when were they unbanned? When were they given? Where were they, relieved from the ban of the criminal activities they committed to the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2008? These same companies, about 4 of them, have been indicted in the Congo, have been indicted in Sierra Leone, have been indicted in Ivory Coast, and have been banned. And their state, where their domicile, Switzerland, find them $100 million in 2008 because of what they did in Ivory Coast and the Congo. Who went and got these people to now begin to re-import fuel into the country? So you see, there's a lot of opaqueness in the petroleum industry of Nigeria. In spite of the new petroleum industry bill, it has not stopped anything. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of institutionalized corruption within the petroleum industry of Nigeria, and that is where the problem is coming from. This one, aside from the firms that brought in this adulterated fuel, that have been banned by the Federal Republic of Nigeria from importing fuel into the country. Whoever went back to recontract these firms has to pay for it, has to go for it. That is extremely important. We have to know why, by government action, some companies were banned from bringing fuel material that will kill Nigerians into the country, and then somebody went back and recontract them. That is, we cannot continue with this type of impunity and expect our country to progress. And I expect the president to stand up and do something about it. From the NNPC, NMRPPA, all these other agencies that are involved in, whoever is involved, down the value chain, has to pay for it.
Now, Mark, I'm wondering, because to many Nigerians, NNPC is the sole importer of petroleum products in Nigeria today. That is one. Then the president that you expect to do something about this is the Minister of Petroleum. And I understand that while the president took that position of being a minister is to be able to oversee activities in that sector and ensure that some of these things that, bedevil the sector does not happen. So, who is going to probe who and who is going to investigate who? Does that mean that, even from the presidency, there has been negligence of duty?
Definitely there has been negligence. And the sad thing about the whole thing is that in this country, we are slow, or we don't even punish criminal indiscretions. When people engage in criminal indiscretions, most of the time they go free. They sit tight, they sit comfortable in their seat when they have displayed open lack of competency, open lack of responsibility in the duties that have been assigned to them, to make life comfortable for Nigerians. If there were to be punishment, in the last 24 hours, a lot of people will have lost their jobs. Some people, I expected some people to be already in handcuffs and in detention, and I will be waiting for them to have their day in court. You cannot. Okay, now look at billions of naira or dollars used to bring in adulterated fuel. Who is going to recover that? Who is going to pay for that? And then a lot of people now who have suffered. I have a friend in Lagos, and you know that we do not have electricity. We do not have electricity in Nigeria. You can call that an exaggeration, but that is the truth. Who is running his company on AGO, on automotive gas oil called diesel. Now, he went and bought fuel and got many of his machines spoiled, destroyed. Well, of course, we have been told that there will be remedial activities by the NNPC or by whoever is involved in this thing. I hope in Nigeria, it will work, because it didn't work in 2008. That's why the fact that the House of Reps, encourage people to put out the claim where their vehicles have been spoiled and the rest of that. But NNPC said, how are you going to even verify those claims? So it is not
questions begging for
people answer. There are people who are responsible for this.
Absolutely.
That's what they have to pay for it. Yes, after all.
All right.
All right, let me go to Prince Sonny Mpe. Sonny, I do not know if you have followed the conversation of, what Mark has just said. And he's saying that heads must roll. And you know that in other clients, perhaps there would have been resignation of some top officials, accredited to this issue. On Wednesday, a lot of Nigerians came out to say, well, we're going to proceed with litigations because most of our vehicles have been damaged. But in response to that, the Minister of State for Petroleum says, well, we would have to bring together those vehicles and do a proper assessment and investigation. Somebody was asking, how many vehicles would you want to investigate? How do you acknowledge the owners of these vehicles? Do you not think that by now some sort of action, to show that there is no impunity in governance, that somebody must have paid the price of actually saying, you know what, I take responsibility of this and I resign? Do you think that this is not the way to go when it comes to transparency in governance?
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you can hear me well.
Yes.
Because I have a little bit of limitation in my audio here.
Okay.
But can you hear me well?
We can hear you
clearly.
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me on this program. My name is Sonny Mpe. I am the zonal chairman for System 2E of the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria. We first discovered these products immediately. We said we brought it into our retail outlets, and we are very disappointed. Where the association is very disappointed at the response of government to this matter so far. I listened to the suggestion of the Minister of State for Petroleum to begin to look at the vehicles and so on and so forth. That's a very wrong way to go about this. There are huge losses incurred by our members as I speak to you. The system 2E that I'm in charge of has over 12 states, spanning the southeast, and up to Benue. As I speak to you, Abia alone has over 50 trucks of those products. Only Abia, Rivers, and all of them. There is huge damage. There is huge damage with serious threats of litigation on our members. As I speak to you, what we have done to mitigate most of this problem is to try to drain. We've been draining. Each of the trucks have been drained, and most of the drains have come out with, like, if you, for instance, someone who bought for a truck or like 45,000 liters, the drain losses is over 7,000 liters. So there are problems everywhere. And what we are looking at now is for the government to immediately commence mitigation processes, to immediately begin to take count or take stock of what is going on. Most of the retail outlets are discharging water, and raw condensate, raw contamination has taken place. So we've waited. We are taking stock of all our losses and all the litigation that is coming up on our members who have already sold to the public. And I think if the government is committed in doing the needful, they should take concrete steps now in making sure that, yeah, they will receive a memo that they have isolated those products, and the companies that imported the products have been identified, and so on and so forth. It's not enough. A lot has gone into the system. Damages have been done. They should also begin to take stock of the stations, the retail outlets that have suffered these huge losses. That is where they should start from. Otherwise, I see a big problem that will go beyond what we are envisaging. It's going to be magnanimous in nature. It's going to be very, very, very huge in nature if we don't take concrete step about it. There are losses. As of today, our losses is running into hundreds of millions. Who pays all that money? And you want to isolate. The minister says they want to isolate few street trucks. It's not going to work like that. That's not the solution. I am not an activist. I'm speaking as an association chairman, as a businessman. So I feel the right thing to do now is to begin to approach, take stock of most of the stations, most of the retail outlets that actually bought this product, most of our members that bought this product. So many trucks are packed now and they cannot discharge because the content is not known. I need to add that it's very unfortunate that a petroleum product of this nature, or spec of this nature, is imported in the country, and the regulatory bodies, the necessary government agency that is tasked with ensuring the quality on spec of this product was not carried along. I think there is a failure of government here. Government failed. The necessary agency failed to do their job. Otherwise, if their job was done properly, they would have dictated that this product is not on spec, and they would have withdrawn this product before it got to people. But they sold this product. They allowed this product into the tanks. Our members went to buy. Our members bought this product, bought in large quantity in so many tank farms across Lagos, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and everywhere. Today, we have this crisis. We have this disaster in our hands. People can't drive their cars. Hundreds of thousands of cars today are having problems. Up to Keke. The other day, there was a fight in Port Harcourt. A very huge fight in the station. People were injured because of the frustration of the Keke drivers and the Keke riders and Okada riders. All
right, Sonny,
they can be patient enough. A man that is a peasant man that is struggling to survive for the day has his engine knocked off because of bad product. They felt my members were responsible for this. I thank God that now the whole truth is coming out. So government should begin to take stock of these losses. There are huge losses. Trucks are parked that cannot be discharged. Who pays for all this? So that is where the...
All right, you have made your point there, but let me take your mind to one investigation done by a national daily, which we reviewed this morning, and that's the News Direct, which says that methanol in itself in petrol, in PMS, is not bad and does not cause any damage. I'm asking you this because you have specified now that, you know, your members have their trucks damaged, engines and all of that. So what exactly did you discover is the problem with the petrol that your people imported or bought that is causing the problem, if methanol in itself is not a problem?
I think I wish... look, there is a lot of sludge. Let me show you something from the WhatsApp, because what we have done now is to group everybody. Can you see this? I don't know. Let me show you something here. I'm trying to show you.
It's not very clear, but you can describe
something I'm trying to show you. This is a black, look, you can see, I don't know how I can put this here. You can see this? You can see this is the sludge. This is what they are selling. This is what came to the stations. This is what is going on.
That's the color of the petrol that people are buying.
I can show you more. What have we done? Okay, this is one of them again. Can you see this? This is one of them. So you see, it's not enough to sit there and they are talking. This is another one. So could it be? We are taking stock of all this. How do you sell this? Look at this. So
Prince, could it be methanol or something else that has been added to the product from your observation? Do you think it was just methanol, or it could be something else that has been added to the petrol that's making it look that way?
Let me tell you, they have said it's methanol, but methanol is a normal additive for naphtha or combination that brings about the PMS. You understand me? So if it's methanol alone, there won't be sludge. Sludge is the contaminated, those deposits at the bottom of the fuel. You know, when a foreign heavy body enters a solvent of that nature, it goes down, and whatever sediments there is a condensate. That is pure impurity. That is pure contamination. If it's only naphtha, if it's only methanol, you will not see this sludge. This is sludge, my dear. It's like you carry a crude oil and pour in PMS. What does it do? It sediments right in the bottom. You see, let us simplify this. We need to simplify this. Anyway, we are in the lab now to really analyze and really get the content, the actual content. I will not, they have said it's methanol. The government is going to say what they're going to say because they want to try to sway the members of the public and stuff like that. But there is no need to play politics here. They should take concrete steps, because one, the failure in the urban issue to test this product and actually find out if it's good for consumption is the very place where I feel there is leadership failure. We have investigated, and we can categorically say that
is not just
this product were not inspected. They were not confirmed. The lab analysis were not carried out on this product.
All right. And let's come back to the studio. I mean, Mac, an expose. I mean, from his showing of those content, it's very clear to him that he feels that there is more to this than meets the eye. It might not naturally just be the case of, methanol. There is something definitely in between the line, and it's worrisome because, again, it also shows that there is a cycle of, withholding information that is true, so that even the public can be aware from the government.
Actually, if not for my concern about the safety of the product, I had one in the plastic bottle I wanted to bring to the studio this morning, and you will see that you don't have to be a petroleum engineer to know that this is not ethanol, this is not methanol. This, it's just like raw crude or mud mixed with water, all these things. And it is not the first time this is happening in the country. That's why I said impunity and all manner of criminal discriminations that are not being properly punished in this country. You remember in 1982 when what do you call it? So-called fertilizer was imported to this country, and everything was sandbags. Sand was imported to this country as fertilizer. It didn't start today. But in the area of fuel, if in 2008 the needful had been done, this will not repeat itself. I still insist that all those who are involved in recontracting the already banned agencies and firms that brought in adulterated fuel into the country in 2008, that are now mentioned in the current scandal, whoever brought them in must go in for it. They must suffer the same punishment, because it is Nigerian masses. I am concerned about the Nigerian masses. It's not about the profit or loss of the associations. It's about the suffering of the Nigerian masses. Coming to the studio this morning, you saw long queues of up to 300 meters. People who needed to go to work, people who needed to go for interview, people who have loved ones to take to the hospital. So a lot of things have been done. It is not only those people who have whose engines have been damaged that will sue the government for damages and relevant agencies. And I think Nigerians must come together, and the National Association of the Nigerian Bar Association should try and come to the aid of Nigerians who cannot pay for the litigation. Somebody must pay for this. If the government refuses to fire people, to punish people, at least Nigerians should get a recompense. She should be compensated for the damage that has been done to their vehicles and engines and machines. That is very, very important to me.
And their psyche as well.
So, I mean, look at it. Each time we know, this is what happens. The result of deliberately running down our refineries is what we are seeing today. Is it not a shame that Nigeria cannot refine its own oil? That is the problem. And I had actually assumed, I gave a lot of credence and listening to the president when he was coming in, that he was going to fix this problem. Unfortunately, the refineries are not working, and there are people in the refineries. Do you know the strange aspect of it is that there are people who are still in those refineries that are not working, but who are drawing millions, if not billions, of salary every month. Every month. In the refineries that are not working, that are not producing anything. The Kaduna refinery has not produced 1 liter of fuel in the last four years. But there are people there who are drawing salaries. So, for what? Why are we like this? Why? And we'll be doing like this? Okay, who are we really trying to please? By paying people who are doing nothing? And then the refineries are there, and nobody is trying to turn around maintenance, turn down maintenance, turn on maintenance for how many years, for how many decades they have not worked. All we have is just a corruption industry. A burgeoning corruption industry, and that's what is happening to this country. And somebody, if this government that has a posture of anti-corruption must be taken seriously, this latest terrible situation that we have must be punished and must be seen to be punished, and people have to go in for it, and else must roll. By now, like I said, I expected. People don't resign in Nigeria. People don't resign.
But they can be fired. And
the president is responsible for firing people. Let him fire people from top down. Let him fire them, so that we are having institutional issues and breakdowns because people don't get punished. That's why we're having problems at our airports. That's why you're having problems to renew your passport. Now you see what you're going to see. Because people are not being punished for corruption, they're not being punished for misbehaving, they're not being punished for misconduct and criminal negligence of their assignments, for which they are paid.
All right. Prince Mkpe, let me come back to you. I want to take your mind back to what the managing director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, said on how adulterated fuel found its way into the nation's petrol supply. I'll have to quote this. It is important to note that the usual quality inspection in protocol employed in both the the load points in Belgium and our discharge ports in Nigeria do not include the test for % methanol content, and therefore the additive was not detected by our quality inspectors. Now, this statement raised a lot of questions in my mind, and I want us to interrogate that. First of all, what exactly does the quality inspectors check when they, do the quality inspectors check when they are, testing the products that come into the country, if the % of methanol involvement is not one of it? Then the second question on my mind is, who now did the check to find out that methanol content was unsafe for consumption or above the limit allowed in Nigeria? And why is there not such a check if the what managing director said is correct? Is it that there are no rules, or there are no policies, there's no regulation regarding that particular aspect of quality check in the country when you import petrol? You are an insider there, so could you lead us into that?
Thank you very much again. In all modesty, I will say that the GMD means well for this country. He's doing a good job, and we have a lot of respect for him. But in reference to this very specific statement he has made there, look, the buck stops just at his table, or it stops with him. He should take responsibility for all this. He should take responsibility for all this because, okay, let me give you the parameter for standard quality of product. If you talk about AGO, the parameter is it must be of good density. It must have good density. I don't know. A lot of parameters are there. I don't have the paper offhand here. We have all that. That is a standard procedure. The octave that the ROM, which is the research octave number, must be of certain level. There are these specimens. They are all there. We all have that standard that we use. In short, if it's the AGO, the standard test, if you have a barometer, we use to do it. If it is that bad, you do it, and you can actually dictate the flash point, the density, and everything. You have that going. But in this very particular case, let me even tell you something that will shock you again. If you see that picture I showed to you, you will see even water. The water content is very, 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 very high. Apart from the methanol they are saying and the sludge we are saying, the water. So you find out that it has almost 30% water content. What the supplier intends to achieve there, I don't know. I said, I am not an activist. I'm a businessman, and I speak for my business associates and my association. So I really can't understand why those procedure that is to check the density or check the ROM, that is the research octave number, to check the clarity, check water content, check impurities, check sludge, check all the parameters. They were not done. Okay, if the origin of the product has their own standard of check, and probably when it gets here, they have their own standard of check, and it's saying that they cannot check. There are some of those very key elements that cannot be checked well. It means they have not been doing thorough job. It's like garbage in, garbage out. They've just been garbaging out this whole thing until today.
Let's come back here to the studio. Sonny, will come right back to you shortly. Mark, I'm sure you've heard what he has said. Yeah. It's not just a case of methanol. There is also a subsequent, high level of water content in the substance. But what comes to my mind is who gets punished for this? Because I know that the World Bank supports a number of initiatives to rationalize the downstream oil sector of sub-Saharan Africa, which Nigeria is included. So which means that there is also an understanding that there could also be at times where adulterated fuel gets into some African countries. I remember sometime in 2007 Tanzania had a problem where they had adulterated fuel to about 78%, but now it's about 4% because they enhance their oversight and also the evaluation and the testing of the PMS. But then you hear the minister say, well, there are areas where we don't touch, and there are areas where we touch. Who gets punished for all of these lacunas?
Yeah, before I go there, the thing is that, even this product we're talking about, you don't need to take it to the laboratory. It is feasible enough, it is clear, if I had brought the one I was saying, you don't need to. If you see that, you not put it in your generator, you not put it in your car. You don't. You know, we don't even this one. You don't have to take it if people are sincere. If not that there's a collaborative criminality between the people that are involved. You don't need to take it to the laboratory. It is very clear. It is so obvious. It's for the eyes to see. Once you see it, you know that no, this is, you can't touch this. You can't put it in anything. So. But for them to have confirmed that they have limited capacity to test the products that come to this country, it's a big shame. It's a big shame. And if I were to people that are to get punished for this, I am an activist. I don't stand to be politically correct. I will start from the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources down to the Chief Secretary Officer of the NMPRA. And everybody down the line, and of course, get all these people that own the companies arrested and prosecuted, because this is.
You're saying they're complicit.
Everybody, yes, everybody, all the people, the value chain, everybody in that value chain is complicit. And you know, I am pained, I am concerned that a very good initiative, the direct state direct purchase initiative, that was brought in, that everybody thought was going to work effectively for all of us. Now, these have been bastardized now. You know, it has been bastardized. So everybody, and the president must be very strict in this. With his experience, with military alacrity, he must fire people. At least to assuage the feeling of Nigerians. So everybody along the value chain. People didn't do their work very well. And we have been told that, look, we have limited capacity. We cannot refine. We still do not have capacity to test the products that are coming in. And this one that has come, even a farmer, somebody who has never been to school in life, if he sees this one, you know that he cannot go into any engine and that engine will survive.
All right,
so
Mark.
It's not about even laboratory or testing or anything. It's just about there's a collaborative criminality to ensure that let's just put this garbage into the country and somebody will pay for it. And in fact, it has been paid for before it was brought into the country. So we must recover our money. It is Nigerians' money, and everybody whose car has been damaged, whose generators have been, they must be, whether how they verify it or not, that's their problem. The simplest thing is that if I bought fuel from your station and my car got a problem, I'm going to sue that station. So it's now left for the station to know who to hold to pay me back. So either to buy me a new car, buy me a new engine. That is the simple way to go about it.
So we're likely going to see a barrage of litigations against the government. All right, so the president that you're saying should probe this matter has already ordered action on erring marketers, and also said that there should be full disclosure of information on any product that is being imported in the country, that the issue of consumer safety is at the heart of this administration. And there are some groups who are out even calling for the president's head in this matter, and they have asked Nigerians to hold Mr. President responsible for what is going on, because the president is the Minister of Petroleum Resources, and he took that ministerial position, as I said earlier, to be able to monitor, to ensure that this corruption doesn't happen in that sector. But lo and behold, we're seeing that happen right under his watch. So, if that is the case, I don't know.
It is not correct for the president to ask NNPC to investigate this matter. It is not correct. It's like telling them to investigate themselves. I think the president should set up an independent investigative body that will include all the stakeholders in the petroleum sector, including all the associations, including the National Association of Road Transport Owners, that are threatening strike, that are going to go on strike anytime soon, because they said the NNPC is owing there for 5 billion. But the NNPC came out through the NMDPRA to say that between December and February, they've paid the NATO 57.4 billion naira that they are not using them. So all matter of deniers, and if those ones should go on strike, that is going to exacerbate the suffering of the Nigerian masses. I don't think it's right for the president to say that NNPC should investigate what happened, because they are complicit, because they are the center. Both the NNPC and NMDPRA. So
who should do the investigation?
The president should set up an independent include the associations, like I've said, like his association, like the National Association of Road Transport Owners, like all petroleum workers associations, and human rights activists, and even the
okay, Mark, let me hold your thoughts here, because we're just about to round up, and let's get back to Prince Sonny. Sonny, who takes the blame? Because we hear the Minister of State for Petroleum saying, well, there might be a hint at compensation for people with damaged vehicles, but how do you ascertain the number of vehicles? who do you know is telling the truth at buying or purchasing the bad fuel? And how do you also determine how much of compensation goes to vehicle owners? Do you think this is a sustainable way? And your parting words, please.
Okay. Yes. Okay. This is a purchase receipt from Easy On. Can you see that? Easy On. This is another one again, bought from Master Energy. So we have all this. This another one again. In short, they come with their receipt and sample. We have over 100 members, over 100 reported cases now with huge volume. So compensation is very easy to assess and administer. We have taken time to take all those stock. We have told our members, all your cargoes, pack it. Don't discharge in order not to cause more damage and more problem with the customers. So it's a very simple stuff. We have all our members ready to give the receipt of purchase, to present the cargo. All of them are packed. That is the instruction we gave because we knew it's going to be to come to this. So we have our samples, we have our receipt of purchases and weigh bills. We have everything intact. So we are waiting. If the government wants to do the needful, they should quickly begin to take stock and come for compensation. Go for compensation and compensate members.
All right.
Otherwise, people will have to seek redress because we are business.
All right, these are businessmen who are complaining.
We are not serve the public very well, give them quality product. And let me tell you, part of the queue you see in Lagos today is because of the precautionary measures that the marketers have taken, not to sell product anymore until there is a better product to replace. Because the more you open and sell, the more the problem.
I see.
So as I
All right, we have to go. I'm very sure that this conversation will continue, but I hope on the sunny side up because people are asking for compensation, but most importantly, who takes the blame and where does this end?
It's a running story. Now, while Prince Mkbe is talking about the marketers being compensated, so how do individual Nigerians who do not belong to any association, whose cars have been damaged, whose psyche has been affected by this, who has had to queue in petrol stations for long and all of that, so how would they get their own compensation? So it's a whole lot of issues to talk about. So thank you, gentlemen, for making our time to speak with us on the show. Mark Adebayo is a civil rights activist. We've heard his own point of view from that sector of the economy. And then we also had Prince Sonny Mkbe, the zonal chairman of System 2E, who is a stakeholder in the oil and gas sector. Thank you, gentlemen, and do have a wonderful Friday.
Do have a wonderful Friday.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.